What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Rivian. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down on what is moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Rivian is up 7.01%, 1620 the low, 1768 the high, and a fair amount of volume. So 29.04 million shares being traded, 46 is the average. And this is just within the first 1 hour of the trading day. Other EVs such as Tesla are in the red, Lucid's also similarly in a red, a lot of which is because of the data that did come out. So ADP employment came in, the weekly data came in at negative 11,000. So once again, kind of signaling that there is a lot of cracking coming from the consumer side. And Rivian normally would be going down, but because of their pretty phenomenal earnings that they did have, so not only did they reiterate their target, but they did really signal a lower price vehicle coming out in the beginning of 2026. So that's going to be the R2 midsize, 45,000. So at least Rivian was able to read the room. I think way too many EVs out there kind of just say, hey, you know what? The consumers need to conform to us. Rivian is self-aware of the data that's been out there showing that consumers are struggling. So this is exactly what you need to do. So I think Rivian hit a home run earnings. They did beat on top and bottom line as well from this. So earnings per share and revenue. So that's always a good thing. Analysts seem to be still somewhat cautious though. So we did get one new one. So it was a $15 price target, D.A. Davidson, Michael, who has a 44% success rating. Then you did have 18 that was posted yesterday, 14, 13, and so forth. So still not really that crazy and bullish from analysts, but maybe they're just giving these ratings because of consumers. As a consensus, 1342 is that price target, representing a 23.49% downside. Elliott Wave Technicals, which as of I think it was November the 5th, is projecting for it to pretty much be where we are now at the 1784 to 1717 range. So the technicals turned out to be completely on point. And I think generally when it comes down to Rivian, them also hitting this. So the first time ever they had positive gross margin of 3.32%, a increase of 107.66% year over year. So this is definitely a move in the right direction. And I think most people did realize that Rivian was going to be kind of the next one to pass that threshold. And so, yeah, I'm pretty happy with their earnings, despite some of the not so much, I guess, bullishness coming from analysts. But there's just a lot of fear in the broader market. One thing to take note of, though, is shorts. So shorts over the last little bit, they were clearly anticipating that Rivian was going to flop on their earnings. This is why they have doubled down from about 15%, so 15.5 back in May, to a peak of about 20.68. So going into their earnings, clearly they were anticipating maybe their guidance to be cut or something, but it was at all-time high numbers. So kind of crazy stuff. Right now, 19.52% of the free float's being shorted, works out to be 157.3 million shares overall being shorted. Despite everything, DTC is sitting at 3.32 days, so that does signal that Rivian is, and shorts are very overextended. So that does factor in the average volume for Rivian in comparison to number of shares being shorted. And just to give you a quick overview, over the last 5 days, Rivian is up 16.09%. Over the last 1 month, up 35.55%. So absolutely crazy stuff. And yeah, honestly, I get the only negative thing that people could really bring up is just more macro type of stuff coming from consumers. Specific to Rivian, I think this really did shut up a lot of the bears. Aside from all of that, looking at the options, 18 million in calls, 2.1 in puts, and then 58% of all the options being done are bullish in nature. So despite everything, you're still seeing a lot of optimism on the table. From a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that 18 to 18.50, and then you have this outlier right here for $20 to be on the table. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub pretty much 16 to 16.50. So I do feel, just given the momentum, And plus as well, just based on the volume, a lot of institutions are kind of jumping on board Rivian and really pushing it higher. So I do feel higher highs might be coming down the pipeline. These are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So you are seeing a lot of big money getting into Rivian. So everything with an ask is a buy. So you're seeing a lot of big transactions despite the market only being open about hour and a half, give or take. These are some of the transactions occurring on the dark pool. So a lot of big money is getting in. 4.5, 4.3, 3.6. So dark pool is often enough used by shorts and hedge funds. And the fact that shorts aren't really doing anything today does mean that hedge funds are backing up the bus with Rivian. So definitely good to see with it right now at 1743, trading between this R3 and this R2. Because of Rivian and how volatile it's been, this is why you have some pretty wide gaps. So 1796 is going to be the next strong target / resistance, and then 1663 is going to be the next strong support. So in my opinion, potentially we could see a retest of this R2 just getting dragged down simply because of the broader market. But I feel based on their earnings, it's definitely a good bet based on the EVs that kind of are out there right now. So let me know your viewpoint on that. Quickly popping back over here, looking at the chart, this is epic. So you're having a nice breakout. The only thing is we've seen that same type of price action occur before, but it usually does result in kind of the flip side, more consolidation. So we'll have to just watch for them to hold kind of some key levels. One thing to take note of though is looking at the market position. Because of how fast it did go up, there is some gaps, and this is where some individuals who are more technical focused will say, hey, you know what, those gaps need to be filled. And technically I kind of lean that they do. So of course you need to always have very strong support and resistance points. And so yeah, I think those gaps do technically need to be filled. Do they need to be filled tomorrow? No, they can be filled in like 6 months time frame, but ultimately, so you have a gap roughly around that 1670 to almost about pretty much where it is for the most part. A little bit of a gap right here, 1624 to 1618. So at the end of the day, just kind of watch for that. But as far as right now, you could always ride the momentum train a little bit higher. There really hasn't been that much in articles really talking about it. Just a couple just coming out associated to analyst ratings, which have been here. So you don't have any. Looks like the last one that's posted through Moomoo that does show it is November the 10th, and that is Evercore. No change to the price target, so it looks like it was originally a buy, and the last rating did come out November the 5th. And this is one thing I've never really understood about a lot of analysts, how they just keep on reiterating their same price target when so many things fundamentally have changed, or even just reiterate your, like, nothing changed from November 5th to November the 10th. That doesn't make sense whatsoever, let alone even October the 12th. So let me know your thoughts on Rivian. Moral of the story is this stock definitely needs to be added to your watch list. Hats off to those individuals that did buy in the $12, $13 range. You definitely had a pretty good swing trade. But for those of you that did do that, are you selling right now? Are you locking in profits through options? What are you kind of generally doing? And if you do believe that there is more upside, I would recommend for those of you to really consider options. So technically, for instance, if you feel, let's say, I've seen a couple of comments saying 25 is on the table. So if you assume 25 by March 2026 is on the table, that works out to be a 44.8% increase in common stock. You could make 158.06% on a long call. So for those of you that are bullish still on Rivian and think that big things are going to be coming, definitely look at long calls. Or flip side, if you feel that Rivian's going to go down back to, let's say, 13, you can make some pretty good money on puts as well. Do whatever floats your boat. I'm not here to get you to buy nor to sell. So let me know your thoughts on Rivian. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.